Donald Trump wants you to believe he's the ultimate deal maker, a peacemaker who gets results where others can't. And now he's trying to take credit for the recent ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. But the truth is, Donald Trump had absolutely nothing to do with it. This is a former president whose advisors often work to limit his unscripted interactions with world leaders, and today's events made it clear why. During his speech in Israel, Trump appeared disconnected and unfocused, a performance that drew protests from the audience and was ultimately cut short on live television. Even Fox News, which had been airing the event, abruptly stopped the broadcast after it became too uncomfortable to continue. We're going to break down exactly what happened in that speech and what it reveals about Trump's growing desperation to reclaim relevance on the world stage. But before we get into all of that, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support our independent work and ensures that we can keep bringing you thoughtful political coverage every week. Now, before we go through the most striking moments from Trump's remarks, let's start with what happened just before he even took the stage, when he made a surprising comment aboard Air Force One that might be the most honest thing he's ever said.
You had talked a couple weeks ago, you were doing an interview and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but I've made life a lot better for a lot of people.
I don't often agree with Donald Trump on much, but in this one rare instance, he might have stumbled onto a bit of truth, even if unintentionally. Let's just say I doubt he's earning any heavenly rewards or international peace prizes anytime soon, and I think deep down he knows that too. But his speech today really drives home the point we've been talking about all along. Donald Trump continues to take credit for things he had nothing to do with. He's now suggesting that he personally brokered peace in the Middle East, when in reality, this recent ceasefire had nothing to do with him or his team. And then, in the very same breath, Trump tries to frame himself as a champion of peace, only to immediately pivot into comments that seem to glorify conflict. It's a contradiction that perfectly captures the confusion and inconsistency that define so many of his public statements.
But it also means this name change and our attitude that we're not going to go into a war, but if we do, we're going to win that war like nobody has ever won a war before. We will not be politically correct, but we're not going to be there. And I think, as you mentioned, Bibi, before, peace through strength. And that's what it's all about.
It's no secret that Donald Trump doesn't exactly present himself as a champion of peace. And it's certainly not surprising that, in his remarks to Israeli officials, he dismissed the idea of what he called politically correct war. A comment that struck many as deeply tone-deaf, given the ongoing humanitarian crisis in the region. That really set the tone for the rest of Trump's speech. You might expect someone claiming to support peace to focus on diplomacy, rebuilding, or long-term stability. Instead, Trump spent most of his time talking about himself, how he believes he's been treated unfairly, and how he thinks he was denied recognition like the Nobel Peace Prize. Rather than emphasizing unity or compassion, the speech quickly turned into a series of personal attacks, this time aimed at President Joe Biden and former President Barack Obama. And it didn't go unnoticed. Before long, those in attendance began to push back, leading to a brief protest that disrupted the event entirely.
Is this right, Jared? Join up in the Abraham Accords. We have to join up and get together. You can have that whole thing filled out. We had a very weak administration, worst president in the history of our country by far. And Barack Obama was not far behind, by the way. And they did nothing with this incredible document, the Abraham Accords, but now you can fill them up. Now you have peace, you have people that really like Israel. I'll tell you what, and they like Israel a lot more today than they did even 5 weeks ago. You've made a...
Donald Trump just can't help himself. No matter the occasion, he always finds a way to make everything about him. It's what he's best known for. Talking about how much everyone supposedly admires him and how successful he's been. But clearly, not everyone shares that opinion. In the middle of his speech today, protests broke out right inside the venue. The crowd's reaction quickly shifted as demonstrators began shouting over him, interrupting his remarks. For a brief moment, Trump was visibly thrown off, and security moved in to remove the protester from the room. It was one of those rare moments where Trump was forced to stop talking. And it perfectly captured just how divided the audience really was.
I can relate to him. I've known him for many years, and I've seen it over and over again.
להוציא את חבר הכנסת עודה, להוציא אותו מהאולם, להוציא אותו מיד, החוצה, החוצה.
Please expel this Knesset member. Please expel this Knesset member.
להוציא גם את חבר הכנסת כסיף. להוציא את חבר הכנסת כסיף מהאולם.
Expel Knesset member Kasif out of the hall. Please expel him immediately.
Sorry for that, Mr. President.
That was very efficient. So back to Steve.
Protesting leaders when they pursue harmful or unjust policies is not only justified, it's essential. And yes, Donald Trump absolutely deserves to be held accountable, as does Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government for its actions. But to Trump, it's never really about peace, diplomacy, or international law. For him, it always comes down to personal loyalty, who praises him, who flatters him, and who makes him feel important. That's why the very same leader Trump claims deserves the most recognition for peace, Prime Minister Netanyahu, ended up receiving a symbolic gesture of support directly from Trump himself. It's not about principles or policy. It's about ego and personal alliances.
Right here. These two men are good men right here. Hey, I have an idea. Mr. President, why don't you give him a pardon? Give him a pardon. Come on. By the way, that was not in the speech, as you probably know. But I happen to like this gentleman right over here, and it just seems to make so much sense. You know, whether we like it or not, this has been one of the greatest wartime presidents. This has been one of the greatest wartime presidents. And cigars and champagne, who the hell cares about that? All right, enough controversy for the day, right? Actually, I don't think it's very controversial. So, I mean, I see so popular. You are a very popular man. You know why? Because you know how to win.
Benjamin Netanyahu continues to face serious accusations regarding his leadership and alleged violations of international law. Within Israel, he's also facing ongoing legal battles that many say mirror Donald Trump's own efforts to avoid accountability. Both leaders seem more focused on maintaining power than on taking responsibility for their actions. Donald Trump's recent comments suggesting that Netanyahu deserves a pardon were deeply troubling, especially when there's been so little recognition or compassion shown toward the immense suffering in Gaza over the past 2 years. Trump has hardly spoken about the humanitarian crisis, except in passing references that seem more focused on self-promotion than on empathy. And perhaps that's why, instead of airing the rest of his speech, Fox News quickly shifted coverage to another segment, leaving many wondering what they were trying to avoid showing.
If in fact they are waiting for this No Kings protest, no kings means no paychecks and no government. And Maria, I think the dirty secret here for why this has dragged on for so long is the Democratic friends in the mainstream media have been downplaying this shutdown. And this is getting serious. It's starting to affect the real economy. It's starting to affect people's lives.
It's clear that Donald Trump has directed his team to push talking points attacking the mass protests that challenge him publicly. They fear moments of unity and community because joy and solidarity are powerful tools of resistance. Every political attack, every attempt to wear us down mentally is about making people feel powerless. Trump wants to create this illusion of inevitability, that his rise can't be stopped and that there's no way to push back against his authoritarian movement. But that's simply not true. We can show up. We can organize. We can put pressure on those in power. And yes, even make Donald Trump furious for a day. And honestly, that's worth it. More importantly, it's about standing together, building community, and finding strength in each other. I'm genuinely looking forward to being out there in D.C., seeing the creativity, the signs, and the shared energy. Let's make this a day of unity, empowerment, and hope. And to help everyone get ready, Jen Psaki broke down all the key details right here. If you're able to join, you should be there. And if you can't, that's okay. I'll be sharing plenty of videos so you can still feel part of it. If you can make it, show up. Be with your friends, your family, and your community. Say hello to someone new. What makes these movements so powerful is how we've turned online spaces into real connections. People meeting, supporting, and standing up together. So just like you might comment, like, or share something online, take that same energy into the real world. Meet someone, make a friend. Be part of pushing back against extremism and building something better together. We need that unity right now more than ever, and we'll keep doing it right here on this channel. So if you want to support that work, hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you made it all the way to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.